Hi! Welcome to this part of my review featuring the Heroes and Hardships core rulebook. This is the early access version. If you haven't seen the other parts of my review featuring this universal RPG system, please check out the playlist in the description below. You will also find links in the description that will take you to the website, to the Kickstarter that is ongoing and it is in its stretch goals. You will also find links to the Discord, to the Tetsubo section of the website. Tetsubo is an upcoming setting inspired by Japan's Sengoku era. You're also going to find links to my reviews of the Quickstart guide and the Wallace campaign setting, based on the life and exploits of William Wallace, so please check it out. Now let's continue. This time we are going to talk about equipment. Equipment is vital for many different circumstances. From battle to fixing a wagon wheel, characters need tools to ply their trade. There are 5 types of equipment categories in Heroes and Hardships. They are ammunition, armor, consumables, gear, and weapons. Equipment that does not have a mechanical effect may be purchased or given at the Game Master's leisure for role-playing purposes. Now, every piece of equipment has a technology era. In Heroes and Hardships, there are 3 technology eras. These are not meant to fall under exact dates, but are a generalization of the time in which they exist and are effective. The setting will decide what equipment is available, but these are guidelines for the classifications of each weapon, regardless of whether it exists or not in your setting. All technology eras are generalizations, and there may be some overlap between these eras. The main function of these technology eras is when using equipment from one technology era in a different technology era. This often happens in time-traveling games. So you have medieval, modern, futuristic. When mixing weapons and armor from different technology eras, there are special rules. When comparing weapons and armor from the same technology era, all aspects are applied as normal. Weapons from all technology eras do full aspect damage to all other technology eras. Futuristic armor grants the armor's full listed armor reduction against weapons from all technology eras. Modern armor grants the armor's full listed armor reduction against weapons from the modern and medieval technology eras. Armor reduction against futuristic weapons is halved to a minimum of 1. Medieval armor grants the armor's full listed armor reduction against weapons from the medieval technology era, but is halved against modern weapons. Medieval armor grants the armor's full listed armor reduction against weapons from the medieval technology era, but is halved against modern weapons to a minimum of 1. Medieval armor has no effect against futuristic weapons. So taking this into account, if you decide to, for example, block or parry an attack using an older weapon against a modern or futuristic weapon, the older weapon is going to end up damaged or destroyed. This is an optional rule. You can handle things however you like, of course. Weapons are tools to kill, maim, and injure others. The weapons found in this rulebook are meant to give a large selection to choose from, but it will never be an exhaustive list. However, you do have the information to come up with your own weapons. Every weapon has 4 aspects. These aspects are slashing, piercing, bludgeoning, and other. Aspects are the type of damage inflicted. Weapons aspects are defined by a number. This number is the weapon damage for that and only that aspect. Weapon damage is added to attack rolls as post-roll modifiers, which contribute to the total success value of an attack. When weapon damage is added, it is assumed the attack uses the highest aspect value the weapon possesses unless the attacking player states otherwise. If there are aspects with the same value, the player must choose which they want to use. Weapons can also have special rules that are applied to them. These are called qualities. Weapons must have at least one of several qualities: ranged, adaptable, one-handed, two-handed, hands-free, or thrown. But there are many others such as no reload, grapple, improvised, shield, unwieldy, and spread, to name a few. Each weapon has other traits besides their aspects and qualities, such as ammunition. Not unlike rate of fire, Ammunition is an abstraction of how much ammunition a weapon can hold before needing to be reloaded. You also have range, which is the baseline number of hexes or units that define all range bands. You also have rate of fire, also known as ROF or ROF. This is an abstracted term. It represents a general concept of multiple rounds being shot in rapid succession. You can also combine weapons. Ranged and melee weapons can be combined in some cases. The game master should ultimately decide what is reasonable. Combining a knife and a rifle would create a bayonet, for instance. And you can even parry with some ranged weapons. Now, some of the weapons included in this book are hatchet, long axe, staff, mace, brass knuckles, glaive, short bow, crossbow, muzzle loading pistol, hitter, buckler. These are shields, dagger, short sword, spears, long spears, scimitars, boomerangs, nets, blowguns, sniper rifles, shotguns, tasers, bazookas, flamethrowers, grenades, riot shields, power hammers, lightning crossbows. These are sci-fi weapons. You also have half laser rifles, needle rifles, electro spears, laser swords, power swords, personal force shields. Now, concerning armor, it has long had an important role in combat. Armor was particularly useful before gunpowder began to dominate warfare. Armor is broken into three general categories: medieval, modern, and futuristic, as expected. So the armor reduction is going to vary according to the technology era, or rather, when using a more modern weapon against an older weapon. Armor also has special qualities such as cheap, bulky, defensive, reinforced, well-made, to name a few. You also have traits indicating things such as armor reduction, the cost of the armor, and when it comes to the armor list, you have things such as leather armor, chain armor, plate armor, Kevlar, flak jacket, power armor, projectile hard suit, mesh weave bodysuit. You also have information on gear. Gear is used to represent miscellaneous items not otherwise specified in Heroes and Hardships, and can be almost anything, such as ropes, lanterns, flint and steel, and such. Gear usually gives you bonuses to different skill checks when being used for specific purposes. Gear is categorized in levels. You have 0 level gear, 1st level gear, 2nd level gear, and 3rd level gear. And these different levels grant different bonuses. Let's talk about crafting. Crafting covers the creation of items both mundane and magical. Most items can be created with the craft or a magical skill such as Arcana, Harness, Psych, Shape, or Essence. It is also possible to reverse engineer some objects or devices. And when it comes to creating something or reverse engineer something, there's going to be a difficulty involved and time required. And there is a huge list of equipment effects that you can use to create any sort of armor, weapon, tool, anything you like, anything that you can imagine. So you have effects such as armor, blink, bane, breach, dispel, pretty self-explanatory of course, enhanced senses, flight, invisibility, life support, magical foci, movement impediments. Some of these, as you can see, can actually take some things away from the armor or make the armor a bit less effective or the weapon less efficient, etc. You have slow, speed, teleportation. That would be cool, a suit of teleporting armor, that would be amazing. And those are just some of the effects. This concludes this part of the review. In the next part we are going to talk about adversaries, and I'm going to give you my final thoughts on this Universal RPG system in its early access version. I think that those of you that like to create things, to tinker with stuff, are going to love this section concerning weapons, equipment, items, consumable, and different tools, specialized gear, because you have all the information to create whatever you like. And those of you that want pre-made things, you already have different lists covering the 3 technological eras: Not to mention the details on how to use weapons from different eras between each other, and how you can further modify these with the optional rules. Thank you for watching this part of the review, and thank you for your likes and your comments. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. And thank you so much to those of you that are going the extra mile to support the channel. If anyone else wishes to further support the channel, the information on how to do that will be in the description below. Once again, thank you, and see you later.